Next up, let's talk about map visuals in Power BI. So you may have noticed that Power BI does include several different types of maps, many of which are powered by Bing Maps. Now there are a few other options here. There's ArcGIS maps. Those require separate accounts, so they're outside the scope of this course. But if you do have geospatial data, you've got a lot of different native options to work with. You have basic maps with bubbles, filled maps, shape maps. You can create more custom or complex visuals using Azure Maps, but some great mapping options natively included in Power BI Desktop. Now, a couple tips for creating accurate maps. Number one, make sure you assign categories to any geospatial fields, just like we did in the data modeling section of this course. Number two, it can be really helpful to add multiple location fields, especially when there's ambiguity. Good example of this is Georgia, which is both a US state and a country. And third, if you have it available, using latitude and longitude will make sure that you get the most accurate mapping possible. Note that you do need an internet connection for your maps to show because, again, these are powered by Bing Maps. And one other call out here for anyone who's using Power BI Service, heads up that an administrator may need to enable maps in your tenant settings in order to use them in Power BI Service. So with that, let's jump into our AdventureWorks report and build a map of our own. All right, so go ahead and open up your AdventureWorks report, and this is exciting news because we're going to jump into a brand new report tab. Let's head to that map tab that we created. So we've got this nice, clean, blank canvas to work with, and we could insert a default map here in the visuals pane, or if you drill in, you can see all of the different maps that are available: filled maps, Azure Maps, ArcGIS, shape maps, etc. The basic map in this case is going to do just fine. That's going to show bubbles based on numerical values. So let's go ahead and resize. This is going to take up basically our entire canvas, at least for now, something like that. And let's go ahead and build. So first things first, we need some sort of a location field. In this case, I want to see where our AdventureWorks orders are coming from a country level. So I want to show total orders broken down by country. Let's go ahead and search for country. We see it here in our territory lookup, and note the globe icon that tells us that it's been categorized as a geospatial field. So let's drop that in, and right off the bat, we'll see bubbles placed on any country that exists in our data model, but they're all the same size because we don't have any metrics included in our map quite yet. That's where we can add something to our bubble size field here, which in this case will be total orders. And once we do that, we should see the size of these bubbles change. And now we see clearly most orders are coming from the US, 8,700, quite a few coming from Australia, 6,000, Canada's got just over 3,000, and then smaller volume from our European countries. So from a build standpoint, simple as that. That looks good. Next up, let's do a bit of formatting to this map. So here in our map settings, you'll see some default styles that you can play with. So right now we're in the road style. You can change that to aerial, which is like a satellite view. In this case, I actually like the dark option just to be consistent with the style and theme of the rest of our dashboard. You can also toggle on or off the labels on the map as well, and add or remove different controls. So auto zoom I like, so as you filter, it's going to automatically fit the pane based on the filter you've selected. Another one that I like is the lasso button, so let's enable that. And what that does is allow you to basically draw a box or a territory in order to select certain regions or combinations of regions. So that's looking good for map settings. For bubbles, let's bump up the bubble size a little bit here to something like 0 looks good. And we'll use our bright blue to stay on brand for our bubble colors. Now let's also turn on category labels as well. And that's just going to add labels above these bubbles. And we can do a bit of formatting for these labels as well. So let's make these Seago UI size 10, just like our chart labels. And it will default to a 50% transparent background. I think that looks just fine. Last formatting step here is to edit the tooltips to make them consistent with our exec summary. You can see we've got the default white tooltip here. And remember that lives in the property pane here under tooltips. This will be a default tooltip option. And we're going to use Seago UI size 10, white for our labels, bright blue for our values, white for our drill text. And for background, we wanted that dark gray with a 10% transparency, just like we did with our other pages. Now, if we hover, that looks good, nice and consistent with the rest of our report. Now, because we're seeing the country name and the total orders here in the tooltips, we really don't need the title as well. So let's go ahead back to our visual format and turn that off. And there you have it. We've got our nice formatted map visual.